Hello, this is Gerald van Was. Welcome to this series. In this series, I will provide you insights in how we choose letters very specifically as positions, directions, and orientations, and how they direct us, how all these letters direct us. And we will use a lot of examples of words that you all know, and they direct you also into a certain contextual position of letters between each other that become meaningful because of these letters that have their own associations as orientations. So here is my scheme resumed, where you can see how we have three sorts of categories. One of them which has a focus in space with very specific positions. The other one is about directions, where the horizontal, vertical, and diagonal directions become more apparent, and the context-based frames in time and space, where these frames matter actually to recognize how they are and where they are, where the conditions are met, that we can see, okay, but here we could apply something. In the first category, it's very specific what things are physically as objects in space and as positions. The second category is about the changes and movements that those have also references mostly as directions, because they go into a certain direction. So this scheme will be helpful to understand also why we choose these letters. Actually, they build up very well, and they have a complexity that builds up as well. There's no time to build up the complexity here and see how logical it is. And so it is almost like mathematics or geometrics, and it's just unfolding like that. And so it can be understood why the mind really follows the smallest path possible, and if this is not the one point is not correct, if they take the next point, and it goes very quickly, follow actually almost like a fractal the direction that is most clear or most certain for the words that we choose. You have here a small resume of what I expect from CLE, but I will build it up again from scratch from my scheme here. I will start with the letter C. C is, you can see the position here. The position is when we focus upon the objects, which is the first category. The objects are beyond us. They are, so it is also about a little bit like it's almost at the surface. If this is the object, if my round mirror here is the look upon the objective world, it's not very focused upon the middle. It's not very focused upon all the material, but it's focused at the surfaces. So it starts to try to find a point where it can start at the borders, at the surfaces actually. So you have these three zones also. You have these three categories in this first category, the 1, 2, and 3. And the C is at the third category, at the starting point of that third category. Starting points, these first three letters, A, U, and C, are starting points. They are different starting points. It's not just a position of these 1, 2, 3, so in the middle, and it's much more than that. It's that balance means a lot more also. When we start to find a logic in language and in the reasoning with language, we use the letter A. This is our starting point. We associate that with the starting point, our starting point, and that's in the blue zone, the certain zone. So it's the most certain. We make up our starting point. This is our starting point. That's why I have a small figure here, and where the 1 is me actually. If it's the changes are, or you can still have that mindset that where you have that number 2 there, where it's really a bit further away from you to start from your viewpoint. So at the number 3, it's in red. You can almost not see it. It also means that in your mindset as a starting point, it's quite far away from you. On an object, you also still choose it, choose something on an object as a starting point, but it's also not in the middle. It's not a certainty of choice. So it is that zone is uncertain. In the physical world, it's less clear that it is uncertain. You still take a certain point, but on the surface, where do you start that starting point? It can be anywhere, and is that a good way to start from there? You have to concentrate well to see if this still works and not. It's at the edges, at the surface, in all kinds of ways of thinking. That's why it is further away from your starting point, especially, while the focus upon the object itself in the zone of number 1 is, yes, it's certain, I'm sure it's the object, I can take the object fully as a zone center, just like I choose to have a mindset that I can make it as a starting point, as it is from my center point of view. So in the physical world, it's close by. So that's also with the C, but as a mindset, the 3 certainties here, the starting point, the 3 starting points are also 3 levels of certainty. You can start very clearly from A, and you're certain with it, and you use it as a certain point. With you, okay, you know that you deal with differences, you deal with the other, we deal with other things, so you deal that things can be different. In the 3rd category, like in C, it all is almost unclear if this is a certainty to choose that point and know that it can be used as a starting point. It's not in the middle also, it's somewhere at the surface. We can use it, but it's the least unclear of all of them. A is clear, U is in between, C is most unclear. So you have these 3 levels of starting points. Just as these 3 levels continue there as well, from A, T, K is also from certain to uncertain as well. Uncertain to continue even in that way. But okay, let's not deviate too much. We are focusing upon the C, the mindset of the C, physically, also as a mindset, why it is something that have to deal with concentration a lot more than loosely with the A. You just say, okay, I have a starting point. We are certain of it, that it is a starting point. It's the object. But here we have to focus more clear, consciously, that we have to use that focus as a starting point to clarify things. So they're not clear immediately, but we use it with a little bit more attention to clarify things. So again, with the letter C. So this is the 3rd level in it. So also in the mindset, I'll take these 3 points as well, as I start as a choice in A, in my figure here. I start as a mindset, okay, I can adapt in U, and I start as a mindset in C, that okay, I can handle it because it is a mindset. The things are less clear if this is a right thing, but I'm aware of it. I'm aware of it, I give it extra attention. It's the third level of starting points. My third starting point is that mindset. It's that I'm looking for the C of context then as well. The C is actually taking care that it gives it a little bit more attention as a starting point. It's there to be clarified. Okay, so these were the three levels. So what is actually, so in these three levels they play along when putting a point in space. In A, your choice in A is a physical choice. So even if you take a surface and you put that there at that surface, it's your certain point at that point, and it's a physical point. On the other hand, the C is from a other level, a more uncertain level, with the U of uncertain as well. It's already in the extensions of starting points, because you cannot. Yeah, it's just one choice. It is a region. It's a region which can go in all directions, and your choice could even influence this is a little bit from what direction will it be, and will it be a good choice. So it will have a range of extension. And where will it be clear with the C? Only at that point where I have that full attention and where I pay attention to feedback. To the third level is always about feedback. I have a full attention to my center point of vision that I take at the surface, and it will only work when I connect to the feedback process in it and watch that over very well. It's used to clarify it. So that's the position of T, the mindset of the letter C. That's your mindset there. Next will be the L from clean. So clean will the L is about it's also about something physical. It's in the middle of my first category, and it is about what is developing there physically. So also what is changing physically. It's on the surface. Something is changing physically. And we focus, because of the order C and L, with L as the second point of attention. This is the second point of attention. I will focus upon the surface, at the borders, at the edges. So at what is at its limits, what is in a changeable condition, actually, that I have to follow. Where does it go to? Where will it lead to? So that's C and L together. Oh yes, what I have next is the E and A. E and A, which is also pronounced as E. E and A is then two letters pronounced as one. The vowels are give you a more global setting. Actually, the A is, we know already, is actually a starting point, my starting point. So we have the figure again that it starts there in the level number one. It means I know what I do. I can do with something. With I can have the approach. I can go forward with it, and so on. That's all possible. The letter E is in the second category. It's outside you as a person. It's about timings, it's about changes. So that means if E and A is combined, E first, you have to deal with what is changing before A, the object of objective focus, can be met. So E, A can only be met when you deal with what is changing here, actually. So when A is actually that direct action, which you can immediately approach it and which you can immediately direct it, and which is very direct, the timing when it is involved is of course indirect. So I have an indirect result from E to A. There's timing involved, in other words, timing involved, and that's why the action can only be seen and met in its results when you follow that up in that timing process. And how does that timing process work? The E sees through that it goes to the highlight. It's in the middle of that system. It's about timing with the highlight of that where is that decided that there is something timed, where it can be reached. And how can it be reached? With the letter E. E means I'm dependent on the feedback. When the feedback is there, then these conditions are met. I have the right feedback, and then there it can be reached. So that's the point where kl with E is combined, kli. So if I put these things to it, I will have the E here. I will go to that highlight, which at some point I have my vision visualized from where do I concentrate upon what will be changing at a certain point. I would look at the feedback, and then I can go forward with it. So the E, I, A all combined within a timing process. So I deal with that timing process in clean. It ends with the letter N. What is the letter N? I go to my system. It's about the physical appearance of what can be lifted out as a direction, which shows its direction here at the end of the timing process. And that's what it is. You have followed this whole process, and then when this timing is involved, you can have it lifted out as a physical condition. And here also says that when the conditions are met, as a kind of physical clarification, they can be met there after a while, and they will be given attention then at that point as well. So you have a combination in clean of that mindset in C, of that physical focus on in L, and the final appearance when you can see that it can be made distinctive as N. Together it makes that complete word. Just as a bonus, I will also have this is was more about a condition actually. Cleans to cleanse is you have also that as a word. I just take this as a bonus because you have an extra attention to another letter, the S. Where does the S appear? You can see that already in the third category. It's at the last position of the whole system, and this is actually about the general rules in the background and the end effect, what you have. So actually cleanse, but the difference between clean and cleanse, pure in sounds, is you have a condition in clean, but in cleanse, no, it is you watch over that it will have its full effect in its general application with the S and in the end. To as in the verb, to gives it a little bit an order as well from the approach. To is the position, the physical position, which goes to or the environment. So it goes to the starting point in the timing in a certain environment. So in to, so I go towards with an engagement, with an attention that I want to have something real, as T usually is. I want to have something that I can define actually, so that I can engage this in the outside world. That's what the two will bring me to. so that I can add the clean and then the S as well as the end effect. I hope this is clear enough that the letters themselves speak already a little bit more, and that you say, okay, this position has a certain reason to be there, and this letter has a certain position to be there. That's what this video was about, so that you're aware that every letter has a specific reason to be there in that order, so that you have that you can recognize the timing process unconsciously, the directions unconsciously, and the physical relationships that are involved, or other relationships that are involved are already predefined. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks again for watching. Bye.